डिफेंस एकेडमी लगातार भारत की नंबर 1 डिफेंस एकेडमी बनी हुई है। नॉन ऑफिसर रैंक में करियर ऑप्शन देख रहे विद्यार्थी 10+।
Okay, candidates, there was a small little interruption in between that was attributed to power supply, and let me connect it again. After you report to the selection center, that is SSB, Services Selection Board, the first thing you require to prove your identity, and there will be a document check. What are the documents to be carried? Everything is mentioned in the call-up letter. When you get a call-up letter, be particular to take everything what is required, be it your documents, photographs, linen, that is clothing. And after the document check, when it is ascertained that you are the person or you are the right person who has been called for the interview at the board. The second thing is your PIQ, Personal Information Questionnaire. I repeat, PIQ, Personal Information Questionnaire. There are certain questions regarding yourself, your qualification, your family members, their occupation, your background, your hobbies, your weaknesses, your strength, your friends, etc. Please do not take it lightly, because these personal information which you provide are the forming basis for the interviewer and the GTO to ask you or to frame the questions. So everything or every activity done at the SSB is with a definite purpose and of utmost importance. Everything is to be taken seriously, meticulously, religiously. When the two things are done there will be a OIR test. OIR test, that is Officer's Intelligence Rating. This test comprises of two parts, verbal and non-verbals. Verbal and non-verbal. There will be reasoning questions of figurative nature and of verbal nature. These questions are of general intelligence, which a candidate is likely to clear, but be prepared so that it gives you extra confidence. Nothing is to be taken lightly. There are books, helping materials available in the market. Take help of that. Prepare yourself so that you perform well. Why intelligence rating? Okay, candidates, you have already cleared the exam and then you report to the SSB. Yet, you are subjected to a OIR test because a general intelligence in a armed forces officer as a commissioned officer is a must. You have to understand the people placed under you after your training to make the prudent decision and to understand the things. It is of utmost importance that your intelligence rating has to be better than a normal person. But certainly it doesn't require extraordinary intelligence. After your OIR test, the SSB takes care of you well and they provide you the breakfast. And then chest numbers are given to each candidate who report. Chest numbers are given. And that is your identity there in the SSB till the time you are there. At stage 1, then all the candidates are taken to a hall for the PPDT test. PPDT test, that is picture perception and description test. PPDT test also has got two parts or two testing that is hidden in the name itself, in the abbreviation, that is PPDT, picture perception. What is your perception about the picture? And description, how do you communicate that? How do you write that? How to convince your group? That subsequently I will tell you, but PPDT has got the two parts. So once you are taken to the hall, a picture is shown to you for 30 seconds. For 30 seconds. Observe it minutely. How many characters? What is the stage, theater, activity? What is the mood? What is the setting? And then for 30 seconds to 1 minute, think it. What are the characters? What is their age? What is their activity? What is their status? And what is going to further? Then you are asked to write a story in 3.5 minutes. So total of 5 minutes. The total activity, 5 minutes. 30 seconds picture, 1 minute time for you to observe, and 3.5 minutes for you to write. Once you have written the story, and one more thing, keep in mind that PPDT is the mini SSB. Why it is called mini SSB is because generally the 2/3 of the candidates are sent home after the PPDT on the very first day itself. Only 1/3 generally, only 1/3 of the students remain there for rest of the period, that is 5 days till the conference. So in the PPDT, once you have written the story, the assessors are there. These assessors are the service officers and also the psychologist, civilian psychologist posted from DRDO in these SSB centers. They assess the candidates, and after you have written the story, all the candidates are divided into groups. Generally, the groups of 14-15 candidates each, in each group. A minute is given, and these candidates are made to sit in a semicircle, and the assessors are there at the platform, and you will be seeing that these assessors do not make eye contact with you. They are wearing the dark glasses so that they observe you, but you don't observe them. So in the second part of PPDT, after having written your stories and after having divided into the groups, the candidates, each candidate is given 1 minute to narrate the story, his or her own story, what they have written. Once everyone has completed, then the group is thrown open for discussion. Here is the real chaos. Here is the real chaos. Everyone in a hurry to put forth his or her point. The assessors ask the group to come to a conclusion, but generally there is no conclusion. Here, the purpose of discussion is to see, as naturally there is no leader, but the leader emerges from the group. They see who is the leader, who has got the communication, who can influence the group, who has the sound knowledge, who has the positive body language. So all these things, these are only I am naming the few things, but these words are impregnated of meaning, and these evaluators are trained and they watch you very, very minutely at this stage. This discussion generally goes maximum, say about 20 to 25 minutes. So once this activity is over, you are asked to go for the lunch, and then after the lunch the result is announced. The result is announced. So PPDT is the most important part, because this determines whether you stay back for 5 days or one goes back home on the same day. So this portion of SSB, screening out, that is screening the potential candidates, because there are a number of candidates who report, but only the potential candidates which the assessors think are cleared, and result is announced after the lunch. Those who are cleared at stage 1, they remain there, and those who do not clear the stage 1 are sent back home immediately. Of course, whatever the TA is due, that is paid to them, and a fresh chest number is given to the candidates who remain at the SSB for rest of the testing. So this is day 1. This is day 1. So now I would request the viewers to take the questions regarding the SSB, their stages, their activities on the first day. My session is live. I am live for the next 4 days, total of 5 days. And I shall be covering all activities of 5 days in those 5 days. So I am open for questioning those who are live on the YouTube channel. It will be my endeavor to answer, to pacify your queries, or the students in the live class, here in the class, are also welcome to ask any questions if they have. Any questions from your side? Interview? Many, as I said, there is a question that should there a candidate require to speak in English only? There is no embargo. There is no embargo as such that one has to speak in English only. Yet, I would say one should speak in English only. Though you can express yourself in Hindi. But for obvious reasons, all the question papers, even debate, that is in English, because it is similar in nature for the candidates across India. And there may be a few candidates from down south who are not as well versed in Hindi as a candidate from North India. Yet, if a candidates do not find a suitable word at a particular time in English, he or she can switch to Hindi. There is no sin in speaking in Hindi, but I would impress, better be prepared to have your communication for the SSB in English. ओके, अभी एक कैंडिडेट ने पूछा है कि हिंदी में भी बताएं। ये जैसे मैंने सारी बातें बताई हैं अभी आपको इंग्लिश में, वही बातें मैं हिंदी में भी रिपीट कर सकता हूँ कि एसएसबी का इतिहास क्या है, शुरू कहाँ से हुई, हमने कहाँ से सिस्टम लिया और किस किस प्रोसेस में जाएंगे। बहुत से कैंडिडेट्स हिंदी के बारे में बहुत पूछ रहे हैं और बोल रहे हैं कि हिंदी में भी बताएं। कि हिंदी में आसान रहता है और इंग्लिश में ही क्यों है, इसका भी एक इतिहास है। ये एसएसबी इंग्लिश में ही क्यों है, इसका इतिहास इसलिए है कि इसका जो डिज़ाइन और पैटर्न है वो अर्बन बेस्ड है, एक कॉमन बात ये है कि जैसे मैंने बताया कि कॉलोनियल सिस्टम में जो अधिकारी वर्ग जिनके लिए एसएसबी होती थी उसमें ज़्यादातर संभ्रांत परिवार या इलीट फैमिलीज या ब्रिटिशर्स यही लोग कमीशन्ड ऑफिसर्स होते थे और उनके लिए इंग्लिश का ही बैकग्राउंड होता था, इंग्लिश के ही स्कूलों में पढ़ते थे। और ग्रामीण परिवेश के लोग उन दिनों में जब ये एसएसबी की स्थापना हुई थी तो हिंदी के वातावरण में या ग्रामीण अंचल से आने वाले स्टूडेंट्स या कैंडिडेट्स की संख्या नितांत ही कम थी, बहुत ही कम थी। और ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ऐसा हो गया कि हिंदी में उत्तरोत्तर हिंदी कम होती गई और अंग्रेजी का वर्चस्व इसमें बढ़ता गया। लेकिन अभी एसएसबी का पैटर्न डिजाइन करने के लिए जैसे मैंने बताया DIPR दैट इज डिफेंस इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइकोलॉजिकल रिसर्च एंड IIM अहमदाबाद, ये दोनों इस पर काम कर रहे हैं कि नया सिस्टम बनाया जाएगा। सिस्टम का जो इसेंस है दैट विल रिमेन्स द सेम, दैट विल रिमेन सेम, बट देयर कैन बी ए फ्यू चेंजेस कंसिडरिंग द कैंडिडेट्स एंड देयर बैकग्राउंड एंड द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द डिफेंस फोर्सेस ऑफ टाइम as on date. Maybe possible that this time duration can be of 3 days, but as on date it is 5 days. Medium it is undeclared, but in English, yet you can speak in Hindi, there is no embargo. Any other questions? I was seeing through the questions. There is another question, and which is of importance, that the candidates do not know why they are not recommended. Why they are not recommended. Gentlemen, let me tell you, when you undergo the various stages, you are subjected to undergo the checks by the psychologists who are well trained. They observe you very minutely, each of your activity, starting from day one at reporting time, how you mix up, how you conduct yourself, your body language, everything is being monitored. Even how do you behave while coming or getting into a bus or getting down at the gate, your conduct with the staff, conduct with the colleagues. This is just one part, and another one is most of the candidates tends to do extra things which are not required. You present yourself what you are, and that is the best way to present. Because the moment one goes extra miles, you tend to false, you tend to wear a mask, and that's not a good thing, and you fall prey. So the candidates are to give the original first thought which comes to their mind and be truthful to yourself and be truthful to your assessors. Because the assessor at the SSB, they are trained and they have experience. They have seen thousands of candidates. So one can be assessed thoroughly even one day. Yet only the potential candidates are kept for rest of the SSB, and rest of the candidates are sent back home on the very first day. And one more thing, a piece of advice, that when you go for the SSB, just do not bother about the result. Just do not bother about the result. You perform to best of your ability. The results will follow. The results will follow. And my advice to you, that you start behaving, start practicing, start focusing on your goal. You start determining that this is my goal, I have to do it. You will see the results will be following you. And of course, it's an elite service, it's a chosen one. You imagine if you are there in the NDA, a batchmate of yours or you yourself will be chief of the army staff, chief of air staff, chief of naval staff. Do you understand the importance of this SSB? A young boy of 18-19 who is recommended in NDA, after having undergone a training, leads to the troop, to the ambush. That kind of leadership one has. We have examples wherein the young officers have brought laurels to the country. They did the daredevil actions. So all these qualities are checked there in the SSB. So SSB only sees the potential in the candidate to become an officer. How a candidate can be groomed? It is not necessary that on the reporting day itself you have all the qualities. Yes, qualities you have, but they are polished. They are given rigorous training. They are polished. And a boy or a lad or a girl, they are groomed in such a manner, they become gentlemen. And now of course the gentlemen cadets, and after completing their training, they become the young budding officer. They adore the olive green uniform. with shining stars, with blue uniform or white one, whichever is adopted or find suitable for the candidate. As the saying goes, when the stake is higher, you require to aspire more and more. When you become a commissioned officer, it's an entirety. It's not only the pride to yourself, pride for the family, pride to the native place. And you feel all of a sudden that you are somebody, you are recognition, people look up to you, and you realize the change that one is recommended, or after the training one is becoming commissioned officer in the defense forces. It's a matter of pride, and it's a dream for any young budding youth to adore that uniform, to uphold the tricolor. So it requires, and it is there in the candidates, but it requires to be projected at the right time, at the right platform. With this, I conclude today's session with the activities of day one at the SSB. I am sure you have understood, and it is useful for you that what are the activities you are subjected to and you will be undergoing while attending an SSB interview at different places. Thank you. Jai Hind. हाँ जी.